when we're doing the test, right, we've standardized these variables, we've gotten them in a fasted uh, place, and then we're using this metabolic data, right? We're looking at what the carbohydrate data, right, what the substrate data tells us about energy utilization, right? Am I more energy efficient or am I more energy inefficient, right? Do I switch over to carbs pretty quickly and stay there, or can I support fat metabolism across a wide range of heart rates? And so being able to look at that substrate gives us an idea of the change in intensity, right? When I have this big shift in fat versus carb utilization such that I drop down in the fat and I raise up in the carbs, that's a shift in intensity. And so what that allows us to do is program exercise that's going to target those adaptations. And what matters a lot in terms of targeting more of the zone 2 adaptations is volume. Can
Hmm.
I do this multiple days a week for a long period of time? If I shift up too much in the intensity, then that affects my ability to recover from that effort.
Yeah.
And so that means that I'm not going to be able to get as much volume over time, which means I'm not going to drive those adaptations as optimally. We've talked before about how we're always trying to balance that signal for adaptation with our ability to recover. And so while, like let's say you onboard carbs, right? Let's say that you onboard more carbs in the beginning, right? Such that the RER isn't exact. You're still going to be going at an intensity according to that heart rate zone. So our body doesn't really care where the energy comes from per se. Like we're just trading carbons around, whether that carbon backbone comes from the carbohydrate or whether it comes from fat. Both have a carbon backbone. We're using that for energy. And so I'm going to have to after my exercise effort, I'm going to have to replenish that, whether that's coming from carbohydrate or whether that's coming from fat stores, right?
Yeah.
And so what really matters here is, am I doing my exercise efforts at the intensity that's most likely to drive those benefits that we see with zone 2 training, right? Increased fat adaptation, increased efficiency with fat across a wide range of heart rates. And so even if the RER is a little bit off during part of the time, because we've standardized the testing and we've looked at how we use substrate and over a little bit longer of a test length, we can say, okay, at this range of heart rates, you're going to be efficient, and we haven't jumped up in intensity yet.
Yeah.
And so that allows us to manage intensity in such a way that we can get the volume of training in and recover from that volume of training and drive the adaptations that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And so having the CO2 data to look at those changes in efficiency, how we're utilizing fat versus carbohydrate, I think is essential for making sure that our exercise efforts are really optimized to select for the adaptations we want to see.